Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Leadership Center. I'm Dr. Tony Soldano. The purpose of our channel, of course, is to develop you as leaders, and we are in the pursuit of excellence when it comes to this incredible and vast subject of leadership. Today, we want to talk to you about mastering opportunities or being an opportunistic leader. Now, I recognize that there could be some negative connotation to that. So I'm not talking about manipulating people or situations or taking advantage. Obviously, this is a channel about integrity, right? And so we're really talking about how do we navigate as leaders? How do we navigate opportunities? And how do we master them? Now, not every opportunity is a positive one. Some can be very detrimental. And so we need an incredible amount of discernment. We'll talk about that later on in the program. But how do I discern as a leader if an opportunity is positive, if it is negative, and whether I should move ahead with it? Maybe, should I avoid it? And should I not take advantage of it whatsoever? So I've kind of identified some things that I believe are necessary in order to master opportunities. And to give you a little bit of background, I was talking to a young leader that I coach and mentor that is in my circle, and we identified that he really is an opportunistic leader. In other words, he really has a skill set to take advantage of opportunities that are presented to him. Now, either they have fallen into his lap, they have come from what some people would call a higher power. I, being a faith person, believe that God creates opportunities for us. And then as leaders, out of our preparation, experience, expertise, skill, sometimes we create our own opportunities, and that's the truth. So how do we master that? How do we navigate that? That's really our content and our context today. So I really believe that there are four elements that are absolutely critical. We will cover probably two of them in today's program. Number one, partnership. What is partnership? People are critical to ensuring that we master opportunities. Number two, risk management. So it's not just risk avoidance, but it's how do we take calculated risks? Number three, probably the most difficult thing to communicate and to teach is the intangibles. And what do I mean by that? Some people call it feelings. Some people call it discernment, intuition, gut feel. How do we manage that? Because that's more of an art form than it is a science. And then the fourth one, stick-to-itiveness. I'm sure you've heard this term before, the ability to stay with it. The idea that we're not going to quit or stop short, particularly when adversity comes. So we're going to cover 3 and 4 in part 2, but today I really want to talk to you about 1 and 2. I want to talk about partnerships, and I want to talk about risk management. So first of all, let's understand when we're talking about opportunities, we are talking about making progress. We're talking about forward movement. That is the goal. And sometimes as leaders, we can be stagnant because of fear, because of uncertainty, and we could have the greatest opportunity that is staring us in the face, and maybe we refuse to move forward, we refuse to progress because we're either unsure of something, we're afraid of something, we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of losing money, investment, resources, etc. We will talk a little bit about that when we talk about risk management. But first of all, let's talk about this idea of partnership. So people are important. The idea that we have interpersonal relationships and that we are going to achieve our opportunities and achieve our goals with other people. Rarely, my friends, are you going to go at it alone. Honestly, it may start with you. Vision usually starts with the leader, and then ultimately other people are attracted, or we hire people, or we bring volunteers, depending on your organization. People are absolutely critical. And so it's important that we draw and attract the right people, but then we need to ensure that we treat those people well. I want to give you some thoughts about how to ensure that we're achieving our opportunities and that we're doing it with the right people, and some of the things that are absolutely important from an emotional intelligence standpoint. Number one, I want you to understand that in leadership, really, it is about caring for people. It is about caring for people. If you want to draw quality people, people need to have a sense that you truly care about them. You're sincere. You're a genuine leader. This is not about manipulation. This is not about using people and taking advantage of people, but understanding their needs, meeting their needs, caring for them. And I guarantee you that you will draw incredible people to you when people believe they are cared for. What do I mean? That they are understood, that they are listened to, that they are heard, that you are taking their feedback, that they are important, that you are creating a culture of safety, that once again that they are heard. You are actually gaining trust by understanding the people that are working for you and that are working with you. You know, in my world, there's a golden rule that you treat others as you would want to be treated. You treat others as you would want to be treated. And that just takes your leadership to a whole different level. Remember, people are important. We're looking at opportunities, and people are going to be part of this opportunity because we are called to people as leaders, and people are called to us. One of the things that I would really stress and recommend is that you don't always point out people's mistakes. Don't be so quick to point them out, but allow people to figure things out, because remember, they are working with you to fulfill the opportunity. Here's another good point. Empower people. Empower people so that they will flourish, they will fly, they will be creative. You know, as a leader, sometimes you need to believe in people more than they believe in themselves. Sometimes you need to believe in people before they believe in themselves. So the very first part of mastering opportunities is that we need the right partnerships. We need the right people on our team, in our circle. We need to attract and draw people to ourselves. And then once we have them, we need to take care of them. We need to take care of them so they can do what they are called to do. Number two, risk management. Risk management. How do we take calculated risks, not risks at all costs? You know, I was golfing with a friend of mine recently, and we were joined together. You know, if you don't understand golfing, sometimes they join you together with other people. So it was my friend and I, and then we were joined with two other individuals, men, and we were golfing. And so my friend, picked up a conversation with one of the individuals, and they really connected. There was a real connection there. And so this young man asked my friend a question. You know, he said, if you were my age, what would you do? And my friend, who's a little bit older, I won't give you his age, but he's a little bit older, he's retired now. He said, if I was your age, I would take more calculated risks. You're younger, and so if you make a mistake, you're able to recover. So I thought that was an excellent principle, is take calculated risks when you are younger. Let's talk a little bit about taking risks. Number one, here's a great question to ask yourself. Can I afford to take this risk at this time? Whether it's money, resources, age, whatever, you have to ask yourself the question, can I afford to take the risk? Can I afford to fail? Can I afford to lose? Whatever it may be, can I afford it? And am I willing? Am I willing to put myself out there? Because sometimes when we are taking risks, if it's for a company or an organization, a church, we're making decisions that involve other people. And so can I afford to do this? Here's some other great questions. What is my filter system? What is my filter system that I have in place so I can run my decisions through this filter system that helps me to take calculated risks? Do I have the right group of people, as we talked about in partnerships, around me? Do I have the right plan? Does this decision and this risk, does it match my life plan, my direction, my vision in where I am going? Do I have the right vehicle? That could be anything from buildings to ministries to callings to education. Do I have the right vehicle in place? Here's another one. Do I have the right amount of coaching or mentorship? Do I have people that can speak wisdom and ideas into my life so that I'm not making foolish decisions, but I'm taking wise decisions? Remember, we're talking about taking calculated risks. Am I attached to a fixed point? Am I attached to something that is bigger than me? You know, another friend of mine is a mountain climber, and as a mountain climber, he would always tell me they have to take calculated risks, but one of the things they do is they harness themselves to the mountain. The mountain is bigger than they are. It's stronger, so that if they fall, they might fall 30, 40 feet, but they're not going to fall all the way down the mountain and die. What's your fixed point? What are you connected to? For me, I'm a faith person. I'm connected to God. I'm connected to the Word of God. It's my fixed point. My faith is the thing that holds me. It is my protection. And here's a great motto that that same mountain climber, friend of mine, shared with me, and he said, you always live to play another day, or you always live to fight another day. In other words, there's just some risks that, although they would bring an incredible return, it's just too risky. It might be a life and death situation. You might want to avoid those types of things. And by the way, usually, the old, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Avoid that. And my friends, all these make money quick schemes are usually not worth it, and it's going to cost you. Here's another great principle: don't be too quick to judge situations or people. In other words, don't rush. If you're going to take a calculated risk, take your time, do your homework, talk to people. Talk to people in that area, and hopefully you're making decisions, by the way, that are in your area of expertise. So get all the feedback you can. By the way, sometimes even if it's from your critics, because you'll probably learn more from your critics than you will from your friends. And here's the last point I want to make on calculated risks. Are you optimizing the learnings from the last season? Are you optimizing the learnings, whether they were positive, negative, whether it cost you or brought you incredible return? Are you optimizing the learnings from the last season? So here's part one. We are talking about how do we master opportunities? How do we become effective, balanced, impactful leaders that take advantage of opportunities? Number one, partnerships, interrelationship and leadership is absolutely critical. Emotional intelligence, the people that are around us, the people that we draw, hire, attract, the people that are called many times to be with us. And then number two, which we just talked about, how do we take calculated risks that'll pay off? I hope that this has helped you today. I hope that it has stirred you to look and identify the opportunities that maybe are in your life right now and how you can master them. I'm Dr. Tony Soldano. Thank you for joining me.